Nigerians mark the International Workers' Day amidst clamor for new minimum wage. Federal government says new minimum wage will take effect from May 1st, 2024. Organized labor calls for immediate reversal of electricity tariff hike amidst public backlash. On the foreign scene, 10 dead, 21 missing after heavy rains in Brazil. Welcome to News Hour. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. During this year's May Day commemoration at the Eagle Square in Abuja, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress passionately appealed to the federal government to urgently review the national minimum wage to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerian workers. May-Ajaero warned that if negotiations continue to stall until the end of May, the organized labor cannot guarantee industrial harmony in Nigeria. Sagir Ibrahim has more.
The NLC president, who was speaking during this year's May Day commemoration at the Eagle Square in Abuja, warned that should negotiations continue to stall till the end of the month of May, the union will no longer guarantee industrial harmony in Nigeria.
Nigeria looks up to us, and we must not fail. Consequently, the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC have made it clearly and emphatically that should the minimum wage negotiation continue and linger till the end of May, we can no longer guarantee industrial harmony in this country. Our nation is facing challenges with centrifugal forces tightening their grip and citizens increasingly disillusioned with leadership. This disconnect has eroded civic ownership of governance, fueling calls for more efficient and responsive systems.
Other members of the organized labor spoke on the need for improvement in other areas affecting the welfare of Nigerians.
A nation unable to secure itself isn't ready for development. Economic growth hinges on insecurity. We can't ignore these existential issues. Investing in people secure the nation. It's time to prioritize the people for a secure and prosperous nation.
Workers should continue to struggle because all along there is nothing that a worker have gotten in the world that is given to him on the platter of gold. It has always been through collective struggle, and therefore this day reminds us of that struggle, that we must continue to struggle to get what is desirable, because we create the wealth, and if we create the wealth, we must demand for social justice. And the foundation of peace anywhere around the world is social justice.
On the government side, President of Nigeria, represented by the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, revealed that the days of worry for Nigerian workers are over, and the federal government remains open to suggestions to ensure a living wage for Nigerian workers.
I assure you that your days of worrying are over. Indeed, this government is open to the committee's suggestion of not just a minimum wage, but a living wage. I urge you and all our fellow citizens to place your trust in this administration. The seeds of greatness planted in our nation are beginning to bear fruits, and they promise a future filled with hope and bound by prosperity. Once again, let me assure you, with the utmost sincerity, that every initiative undertaken by this administration is geared towards transforming Nigeria into a nation that can truly provide for its people.
As we gather here under the theme, People First, we are reminded of the fundamental principle that must guide our actions and policies, which is the prioritization of the welfare and well-being of our people. Our gathering today, therefore, is a testament of our firm commitment to placing the needs and aspirations of our workers at the forefront of our national agenda.
Away from the business of championing the cause for a better welfare for Nigerian workers, the unionist had time for a little fanfare. As is customary for every May Day celebration, the Vice President was present to take the salute from the Solidarity March past from the different workers' union present. In spite of the challenging economic climate which has impacted their purchasing power, these workers remain resilient and eager to contribute to the nation's prosperity. For now, they hold on to hope that their efforts will soon yield a better life for themselves and their families. From the Eagle Square in Abuja, Sagir Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
Still on the International Workers' Day, the federal government says although the tripartite committee on national minimum wage is yet to conclude its negotiations, workers will not lose anything as the new minimum wage will take effect from the 1st of May 2024. The Minister of State Labour, Nkiruka Onyejocha, stated this on Wednesday while addressing Nigerian workers at the May Day celebrations at Eagle Square, Abuja. She said it is regrettable that the new national minimum wage is not ready before today, but that a wide consultation is ongoing to ensure that the document is out together as soon as possible. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has lauded the contributions of workers in Nigeria to the growth of the country. He gave the commendation in his address to the workers presented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event to mark the 2024 Workers' Day in Abuja. He said the federal government is open to receive the recommendations of the Committee on the new national minimum wage. During the May Day celebration, a comparative analysis of the Nigerian minimum wage reveals that in 2000, when the minimum wage was 5,500 naira, an average Nigerian worker earned approximately $49. Fast forward to the 2024, with the present economic challenges, and the average Nigerian worker now receives less than $25. In the spirit of the 2024 International Workers' Day, Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail takes a look at the history of minimum wage reviews from 2000 to the present.
According to Nigeria's Minimum Wage Act, there should be a minimum wage review every 5 years. In 2000, the minimum wage was 5,500 naira, equivalent to $49 at the time. During President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, between 2007 and 2010, it was raised to 7,500 naira, roughly $67. In 2011, under former President Goodluck Jonathan, the minimum wage increased to 18,000 naira, about $117 then. In 2019, former President Muhammadu Buhari approved a new minimum wage of 30,000 naira, approximately $88, when the exchange rate was 360 naira per dollar. Presently, the 30,000 naira minimum wage is equivalent to $21. On April 30th, 2024, the federal government approved a salary increase of 25% to 35% for civil servants on the remaining 6 consolidated salary structures. This translates to a 75,000 naira increase for workers. The federal government has increased the minimum wage 4 times in 24 years since 2000, although the Minimum Wage Act mandates a review every 5 years. Despite these pay rises, food commodity prices have surged by 35% according to the latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics, meaning that civil servants' salaries essentially remain unchanged in real terms.
Our apologies for the challenges in that report. Moving on, the Kaduna State Chapter People's Democratic Party has urged the committee set up by the Kaduna State House of Assembly to investigate the expenditure of the past administration of Nasiru El-Rufai to beam its searchlights on the unjust sacking of over 27,000 workers across the state without payment of their entitlements. The PDP, in a statement signed by the State Publicity Secretary, Ibrahim Albera Kato, felicitated with workers in the state on the occasion of the 2024 Workers' Day. He expressed the party's solidarity with workers in Kaduna State and the entire country for their resilience and commitment to duty towards the development of the state and the country. The organized labor in Adamawa State has called on the government to implement policies that will improve the welfare of Nigerian workers. This was the central message marking this year's commemoration of Workers' Day in Iola. The report.
Comrade Emmanuel Fashe highlighted the significance of the annual celebration of Labour Day, noting that it serves as a reminder of the struggles and achievements of workers and the labour movement worldwide. He emphasized that this year's theme, People First, reflects the current challenges faced by Nigerians, particularly regarding their standard of living amidst policies introduced by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Fashe commended the Fintiri-led administration in Adamawa State for its palliative intervention aimed at assisting workers and the general populace.
We wish to thank you immensely for the release of 303 billion naira recently for the offset of gratuities of our retirees for 2013, 2014, 2015, although January and February. This has tremendously affected on their lives and their families. Your Excellency, we are not being Oliver Twist. Local government pensioners are also your citizens. These gestures should also touch them because they are also part of the pensioners' family. Your Excellency, we want to appreciate your kind gesture of implementing the 30,000 minimum naira fully at the local government. The primary teachers, the primary healthcare workers, the local government workers are now at par with their counterparts in any state of the Federation in terms of remuneration.
The chairman, Trade Union Congress, Comrade Dauda Adamu Ali, appealed to Governor Amadou Umaru Fintiri to consider the daily rated staff for permanent appointment to the civil service.
Celebrate the May Day with us. I think it's a real privilege because of the hardship.
Governor Amadou Umaru Fintiri, represented by his deputy professor, Kaletapwa George Farawata, intimated workers on the plans of the administration towards improving the well-being of workers in the state.
I am delighted that the NLC chairman has noted these gestures. I have also taken note of the request made by him and assure you that the issues will be addressed within the context of prevailing socio-economic realities. Your trust and confidence in us will not be betrayed. Let me also seize this opportunity to inform you that we are keenly following developments on the new national minimum wage, and to say that as a government we are fully committed to implementing whatever figure that is eventually agreed upon.
The ceremonial march past saw the participation of athlete groups under the umbrella of the organized labor in the state.
Workers in Plateau State have rejected the increment of between 25% and 35% across various consolidated salary structures for civil servants by the federal government. The announcement of the increment was made on the eve of May Day, which is celebrated worldwide to recognize and honor the achievements and contributions of workers. Ado Musa has the story.
Workers in the state trooped out in their numbers to Wampam Stadium to join their counterparts across the world to celebrate the day. On the other hand, the workers are happy to witness the day hale and hearty. But on the other hand, they said life has been very miserable for them due to the government's unpleasant attitude toward payment and salary increment in the country. Some stakeholders at the event spoke on their predicament.
We have our position in Naira and Kobo in relation to the international changing ability to have it in dollar. Since we want to dollarize Naira, we want to have our salaries improved in that order, to be able to have probably a living wage. So what you say here that the labor has today, and even as of yesterday, has totally rejected the offer being given. For us, it's not generous. We have to work on to the committee that has been set up to to look into the wage review, complete and submit the report.
Initiated by the administration to become a reality to benefit workers and citizens of the country, citizens of the state. It should be noted that with the mass retirement facing the state and local government councils, there's the need to open windows of opportunities for more.
Governor Caleb Mutfwan, represented by the head of service, Rauta Dakok, said his administration will do everything possible to improve the welfare of workers in the state.
Many face substantial challenges in their workplaces. Issues such as exploitation, unsafe working conditions, and lack of access to essential benefits are prevalent. In view of the economic turbulence, following the removal of the petroleum subsidy, my administration has taken decisive steps to alleviate the impact and ensure that the welfare of our citizens is a top priority. We are committed to give for forging a future where every worker is treated with the utmost dignity, respect, and fairness. We are steadfast in our mission to revitalize the civil service to achieve exemplary service delivery. We recall our pledge to bolster the capabilities of our civil servants by providing them with the necessary tools to execute government policies effectively.
Other workers who spoke at the event lamented the poor working conditions in the country, calling on government at all levels to alleviate the suffering of workers in the country. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The 2024 Workers' Day was celebrated in Katsina State amidst lamentations over poor working conditions, fuel scarcity, and high cost of living. The workers, who said they are overburdened by debts, and also lamented the escalating inflation and insecurity, noting that there is still or nothing to share about. Abdullahi Ahmadi tells us more.
Tricycler Association of Nigeria. Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Servants of Nigeria, Federal Revenue.
Living costs, wage grants, and minimum wage increase dominate discourse among workers and non-workers in Katsina State, with many arguing that the partial implementation of wage grants among retirees and civil servants is a deliberate attempt to put down workers and scuttle the economy of the state. Many civil servants in the state are of the view that though their monthly salaries have been consistent, there is, however, an urgent need to implement a living wage that will salvage them from the prevailing economic downturn. Speaking on the sidelines of the Workers' Day celebration, Katsina residents encouraged labor leaders to remain steadfast and not to agree to anything short of a living wage, considering the harsh economic realities occasioned by fuel subsidy removal, uncontrolled inflation, and continuous devaluation of the naira.
This country is a very big country that has all the resources we need to take care of the workers. Unfortunately, we are less paid, and you know the economic challenges and the hardship we are facing.
We are facing definitely a terrible economic situation, but we are hoping, we are confident that the government is doing something to ensure that new minimum wage come into limelight.
Labor leaders also made some of their demands clear to the government, with hope that Governor Dikko Rada will meet them.
And I also want to sincerely appreciate the Katsina State workers, both the state and local government, for their continued support of this administration. I hereby assure you of the government's support and consideration for working closely with you to address some of the outstanding issues toward improved welfare to workers in the state.
Critical stakeholders are asking for a clear-cut path towards ameliorating the current economic hardship being experienced by Nigerians, noting that it is the only option to guaranteeing the security of lives and property. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Still in Katsina, as Nigerians celebrate the 2024 International Workers' Day, there is a public outcry among workers of a construction company in Katsina over the sack of a staff from its service. The affected staff, Aminu Bello, was allegedly abused, harassed, stigmatized, and then sacked by one of the expatriates in the construction company for being a dwarf. Again, Abdullahi Ahmadi tells us more.
35-year-old Aminu Bello has served the construction company for 11 years as a mechanic before the arrival of one expatriate who asked for his transfer to the company's staff quarters as plant operator a few months ago. While there, Bello alleged that he faced a lot of harassment, intimidation, and stigmatization from the expatriate before he was later transferred back to the main yard in the same capacity as plant attendant.
Some people they don't ask him what he have, what he do, why we go to my office. You just say you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. You don't tire me. You don't want to see me again. If him Sunusi driver, you come meet him in the office. He just say what is man do you? You say you don't want to see me again. You don't want to see me again.
Aminu Bello was seen hanging around the company looking disturbed and traumatized shortly after collecting little over 90,000 naira as his payoff, alleging that he was victimized by the expatriate.
He even carry cough where they use and take tea. You food water, do it like this. You come to her, I say, you don't wash, I don't wash, I say, you don't want me again. Like they something like that won't show this. So what I know be that. Me, I don't know what I do him. If I do, or if I get what I do, me, I don't know. Maybe I get what I do him, me, I don't know. Him come, tell me, tell another person to come, tell me. Everybody, why you can't ask and say, what is this man do? Say him, no. If you get what you say, what I do.
Though Aminu's colleagues made several inquiries to know what transpired between him and the expatriates, they were, however, told that the expatriate in question does not want to see Bello around, saying his decision is final. Amin was sacked for being a dwarf because the expatriate only mentioned that he doesn't want to see him anywhere around him. What does that mean? And when we demanded for reasons behind his sack, which he is entitled to, nothing was said about it. Such circumstances would arouse suspicion. However, checks by Trust TV News revealed that Aminu Bello was sacked by the construction company due to some irregularities, though he was not informed as demanded by him and his colleagues. The chairman of the Construction Workers Union, Kabir Sani, and another official, Marun Gostin, who is an expatriate, affirmed off camera that Aminu Bello's sack has nothing to do with being him a dwarf. They also dismissed claims that laborers in the construction firm are being discriminated and shortchanged. They also requested any of them with any issue to make payment claims available for scrutiny. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Governor Abasi Otu of Cross River State on Wednesday announced that the least worker in the state will go home with 40,000 naira instead of 30,000 naira. He made the announcement in his address to workers at this year's Workers' Day at the celebration at UJ Oswene Stadium, Calabar. Governor Otu said he increased the wage based on economic reality on ground in the state, as well as the lean federal allocations accruing to the state and not on sentiments. Governor Otu said his government is very appreciative of the workers, even though their industrial output is only 5%, which he admitted has not been, or rather has been very poor. The governor said his government has monthly salaries and pensions up to date, and therefore sued for more patience to enable him clear backlog of gratuities. Meanwhile, the organized labor in the state has accused the state government of neglect and deceit, calling for open recruitment of employable youths to fill up various vacant positions. Chairman of the TUC in the state, Monday Ogolodom, said the administration deceived the senior citizens and it failed to deliver its promise to clear up backlog of gratuities owed them since 2013. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, have appealed to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, and the power sector operators to reverse the increase in electricity tariff within 1 week. President of the unions, May-Ajaero and Festus Osifo, made the call on Wednesday in a joint speech to mark the 2024 Workers' Day in Abuja. The duo expressed dissatisfaction over the epileptic power situation which is affecting the economic growth of the country. According to them, any nation incapable of effectively and efficiently managing its energy resources must face certain ruin. They said it was absolutely critical for the government to collaborate with the people to establish frameworks that ensure energy works for all Nigerians. According to the duo, the plight of the power sector remains unchanged over a decade after the privatization of the sector. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, Nigerians groan as queues persist in Lagos over fuel shortages. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Nigerians mark Workers' Day amidst clamor for new minimum wage. And the federal government says new minimum wage will take effect from the May 1st, 2024. Moving on, the Borno State chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has called on the state government to increase salaries of workers and consider implementing the minimum wage as well as promoting benefits for local government workers. The NLC made the call at an event to mark the 2024 Workers' Day in the state. Trust TV's Bitrus Kurusi has more.
This March past to mark Workers' Day is in solidarity workers on their day themed The People First. This year's Labor Day was attended by the Deputy Governor, dignitaries and workers alike. The Borno State National Labour Congress Chairman Yusuf Inuwa reminded the government that the minimum wage was clearly no longer meaningful to public and private workers due to inflation and the rising cost of living. The demand for consideration of harmonized percentage gap between primary health workers and local government staff, implementation of promotion benefits, payment of 1 billion naira gratuity for deceased workers and pensioners, enrollment of local governments into pension scheme, and payment of 500 million naira gratuity to local government staff, among others.
Also, we are still appealing for the consideration of implementing minimum wage to local government employees. This, we believe, will further increase their productivity in service delivery. Your Excellency, another area of concern for the organized labor is the issue of promotion benefit to the local government staff. We sincerely wish to appeal for the considering the implementation of promotion benefit to local government employees. Also, of great concern is the payment of outstanding leave program since 2015 to 2020.
Meanwhile, the governor, represented by his deputy, assured of improved welfare for workers. He noted that the state government, in a bid to uplift the standard of living for workers, provided 2 billion naira interest-free loans with a promise to fulfill all its obligations to civil servants.
We have continued to prioritize the welfare of civil servants in the
state by ensuring that public promotions, leave grant, and payment of gratuity, tariffs, and all other entitlements and benefit to workers are clear and satisfactory. In this regard, I urge all civil servants to key into our transformation agenda through the development framework and tender strategic transformation initiative so as to fast-track our economic recovery after a decade of insurgence. I call on the Labour to join us in the marathon for the building of a society where peace, security, and development.
Workers are hopeful that the demands presented to the government will be addressed soon enough. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The Jigawa state government has reiterated its commitment to prioritize the welfare of workers to ensure maximum productivity. The governor, Umar Namadi, stated these while addressing workers at an event to mark this year's International Workers' Day in the state. The report.
Governor Namadi, who was represented by the Deputy Governor Aminu Usman Gumel, assured workers of government's desire to explore avenues to increase wages and salaries to ensure a decent standard of living for all employees. The governor announced the introduction of a groundbreaking initiative called J-Agro, aimed at empowering civil servants to engage in agricultural activities. The program, he said, is designed to not only supplement income but also promote self-sufficiency and contribute to the state's agricultural development.
The present administration, under the leadership of His Excellency Madam Umar A. Namadi, FCA, accorded greater priority to the welfare of workers and is fully aware of the present economic hardship the workers are facing due to the higher cost of living. This administration will remain committed to provide incentives, palliative measures to cushion the effects of the economic challenges we are currently experiencing.
The chairman of the state chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Sunusi Al-Hassan, pledged to continue supporting the governor's agenda to propel Jigawa State forward. He emphasized the importance of collaboration between the government and the labour force in driving progress and prosperity for the state and its people.
I want to therefore use this opportunity to call on the state government to continue to do more in the area of provision of palliative and other measures to help workers, pensioners, and the masses in the state. In questioning the effect of harsh economic realities we find ourselves in.
The atmosphere was filled with optimism and determination as workers expressed their gratitude for the recognition of their contributions and looked forward to a brighter future under Governor Umar Namadi.
The 2024 International Workers' Day celebration took a different dimension as stakeholders gathered to celebrate special people who have dared the odds to lead decent lives through hard work. Captured by Voices to Faces communication through what it calls Against All Odds docu-series that showcase people who turn their adversity to triumph by hard work and consistency. The drift in the Workers' Day celebration is an attestation to the Martin Luther King Jr. saying that no work is insignificant, as all labor that uplifts humanity have dignity. Trust TV's Noel Sampson has more.
The first batch of the docu-series is about Toyin Ogunneyi, a female carpenter in Lagos. Tragedy struck when she lost her husband to a ghastly motor accident at the age of 33 in 2019, leaving her to care for 2 young children. She later ventured into carpentry, defying all odds to become successful. She highlights the difficulty she encountered while shooting the documentary and why she produced it.
Ooh, there were so many challenges. So, for example, we had to travel to go shoot the documentary. So I shot the documentary. We shot the documentary in Lagos, and Lagos traffic for one. Getting to the place to shoot the documentary, those were some of the challenges. But we thank God. Today we're here. We've shot the documentary, and that was about a woman, a female carpenter, who is a widow. And after she lost her husband, she had to turn to carpentry because she couldn't get a job in a white-collar job. And that is the kind of story we want to tell.
Present at the event were individuals who overcame all odds and became successful. They spoke on the importance of fighting all odds on the way to success.
I think one of the things we've been able to achieve today is to do what I think we all want to see, is to give people a reason to continue. Because against all odds means you have resistance, there are barriers, there are challenges, and currently that's what we are seeing. The economy is not where it should be. We hope it could be better, but we believe it could be better, but it cannot be better without the people. So it's important that people remain steadfast, resilient, grit, because you could still tell that story. You could learn from what is happening. We could benefit in future from what is happening. And that's why it's so important to tell these stories.
So it's Workers' Day in Nigeria today, right? So it's all about the dignity in working and labor. And for you to work, it means you have to go against the tide. You can't just wake up on your bed and sleep and relax. You get up, dress up, show up, and be ready to hit the ground running. And that means resilience, it means energy, passion, determination, anything you can muster so you can fight against all odds. So it's a fighting spirit, really.
As a matter of fact, challenges let you know that, ask you critically if you really want what you actually have. So don't feel different, don't feel weird that you're going through challenges. It's part of life. Don't let anyone laugh at you, because without it, you won't have a story to tell.
Fighting against odds indeed serves as a formidable test of people's resilience and the very core of their character. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Workers in Imo State have called on the state government to, as a matter of urgency, ameliorate their sufferings by paying their promotion benefits. The workers made the call during this year's May Day celebration in the state. Trust TV's Ajibade Press has details.
Currently standing at the Hero Square, the place designated for the celebration of the May Day. It is about 10 a.m. now, and yet we are still seeing very scanty number of workers. Unlike previous years, this whole place, this old square, would have been filled up by now. Gradually, workers made their way into the Indobisi Kano Square, otherwise known as Hero Square, venue for the all-important event. Soon, the march past commences and all the unions represented in the state take part. One after another, they march past the governor, Hope Uzodinma, who took their various salutes. It was a case of different stroke for different folks, as some workers expressed displeasure with the poor remuneration most of them are receiving, while others said there is something to also thank the governor for while they wait for more.
In that workers of Imo State got a lot of expectations from His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, likewise His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But it's unfortunate those expectations are not there.
Minimum wage is can no longer take us home. There's need to look into it. Another thing is that whenever we are talking about minimum wage, we're only talking about those in the public sector. You forget that NLC, TUC, we have private and public sector. Like you and I, you're in private sector. Nobody talking about your minimum wage. We're only talking about those working in government parastatal. So whatever we are going to do, minimum wage should accommodate both in private sector and public sector. Our amiable governor,
I'm not sure what I'm saying.
Distinguished Hope, is really trying. You know?
No. What I mean is that
in everything,
added value to this.
I can say that he is trying. When you come to health.
The chairman of the NLC in the state, Uche Nwigwe, enjoined the governor to consider implementing the monetary value of the promotion he gave all workers in the state since 2022. He equally urged the governor to consider the issue of the minimum wage in the state as soon as the federal government approve that for the federal workers. On his part, Governor Uzodinma said he will not take the welfare of the workers in the state for granted and promised to address their request in no distance time.
We therefore passionately appeal to Your Excellency for immediate implementation of the financial effect of the promotion since 2022.
I have prioritized the welfare of workers above every other matter. This is because I recognize that workers are like lubricants that oil the machinery of government.
The May Day celebration in Imo State has finally come to an end, with the governor promising most of the workers that he will fulfill his promises just as they have requested. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
From Imo State to Oyo State, where the state government has pledged its commitment towards prioritizing the welfare of workers in the state to engender greater productivity. The state governor, Seyi Makinde, gave the pledge during the Workers' Day celebration held at Lekon Adamasimba Stadium, Ibadan. The report.
Represented by his deputy, Bayo Lawal, Governor Makinde said his administration has been enjoying a robust relationship with the state workforce since he took office, adding this has been sustaining the economic progress of the state. Makinde maintained that his administration will continue to prioritize and improve welfare of workers in terms of intervention in the transport sector, payment of wage award until a decision is reached on the national minimum wage, regular promotion of workers across different corridors, amongst others.
We will do all that is possible, meaning that we want to make them happier than they are at the moment. And in that regard, what we are waiting for is the conclusion of current negotiation that is going between the administration and various labor unions. As soon as that negotiation is concluded, we will promptly implement.
In the joint remark, the chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, Oyo Council, Kayode Martins and Bosun Olabiyi, appreciated the Seyi Makinde-led administration for its commitment to workers' welfare and called on government at all levels to cushion the negative effect of fuel subsidy removal and fuel scarcity.
Issue of inflation, minimum wage issue, and fuel hike price, the sudden fuel hike price militating against the masses. A couple of days now, it has been an issue. You can see the stadium, people couldn't make it to the stadium today because of that. So that's why we're asking the government at all levels to please quickly address the situation.
Earlier, the chairman of the 2024 Oyo State Workers' Day, Dr. Sanusi, called for collective efforts from individuals and corporate bodies to enable the government of Oyo State achieve more.
Queues at the fueling stations in Lagos are lingering as the latest fuel scarcity continues to bite hard across the country. Checks across the city, especially in Ikeja, the state capital, revealed that some stations that are selling have seen queues surge, while others have jacked up their prices as demand increases. The report.
Across Lagos, the fuel scarcity had led to an increase in transport fares as many commercial drivers are struggling to fuel their vehicles for business operations. In Ikeja, the Lagos state capital, many private filling stations have closed down and are refusing to sell fuel to residents. Those who are selling have increased prices to as much as 750 naira per litre. Some commuters aired their views on the price hike and its impact on business operations.
Some people are selling normal prices, and some people are not selling normal prices. Like yesterday, now the one that I bought is 610 for 100. So other businesses are selling 700.
Recently, what we are going through is not easy at all. Not easy at all, because for us to get fuel now is a war. you queue from 4 a.m. Before you get fuel, sometimes it's 11, 12. So after 11, 12, what work are you going to do that day? It's a wasteful day already.
All the filling station has been closed. I don't know what is happening, whether they want to increase or they want to lower the price. I don't know. So the place we are bought now for this Agbado area, we bought the fuel per liter is 690, 750. But for this Lagos, the one that I bought this morning now, I bought it 610.
While the surge in the price of fuel in Lagos State is significantly impacting business operations, it has, however, emboldened black marketers to increase their rates, with 1 litre of fuel now selling at 1,400 naira per litre, causing long queues at stations selling at normal prices, as consumers seek to avoid the exorbitant rates of the black market.
Time now for business news with Yusuf Akogu.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. Amidst tight monetary policy and economic contractions, loan portfolio of leading deposit money banks in Nigeria expanded by 57% to 37.17 trillion naira in 2023 against 23.68 trillion naira recorded in 2022. Details of the loan books show that 31 banks dominated the combined portfolios, recording the highest value and growth rate. The large credit growth was driven by Access Bank, Zenith Bank, First Bank, Guaranty Trust Bank, among others. Access Bank recorded the largest loan portfolio with 4.04 trillion naira, while Zenith Bank grew its portfolios to 6.58 trillion naira and First Bank increased to 6.36 trillion naira. Nigeria mobile network landscape is seeing a gradual shift towards newer technologies, with 5G subscription reaching 2.7 million in March 2024. According to the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC), this translates to a 1.24% penetration rate. While this represents steady growth compared to December 2023, 2G remains the dominant network choice, accounting for over 56.97% of all connections. 3G holds a 9.04% share, while 4G subscriptions have grown from 25.06% in May 2023 to 32.74% in March 2024. The high cost of 5G compatible smartphones is a major barrier to wider adoption. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) says sub-Saharan Africa stands to reap over 10% of global revenue from critical minerals such as copper, cobalt, and lithium. In a report titled Harnessing Sub-Saharan Africa's Critical Minerals Wealth, the IMF said these cumulative revenues could correspond to an increase in the region's GDP by 12% or more by 2050. The report noted that with growing demand, proceeds from critical minerals are poised to rise significantly over the next 2 decades. The global transition to clean energy is also set to further heighten demand for critical minerals. According to the International Energy Agency, between 2022 and 2050, demand for nickel will double, cobalt triple, and lithium will rise in 10-folds. Now to the FX markets. Now, instability in the forex market continues even though Naira rebounds at the Nigeria Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, of course, on Wednesday. Let's see how it traded against other major currencies of the world. Against the US dollar, Naira is trading at 1,407.71 kobo there. If you look at the official exchange rate, and the parallel market is going for 1,480 there against US dollar. British pound also going strong there against the dollar. The parallel market is going for 1,700. Of course, if you go to the official exchange rate, 1,757 naira and 61 kobo against the US dollar. Against the naira, I beg your pardon, is it traded at the end of business today. Of course, euro is also going strong again after it went down to the naira. Is now 1,502 points and 74 kobo there. If you go to the parallel market, is 1,400 naira there. Of course, ZAR, popularly called South African rand, is going for is trading at 75 naira, and of course 3 kobo there against the local currency, the naira. Of course, if you go to the black market, the parallel market as it is called, is going for 77 naira there. That's how Naira traded at the end of business for today. Moving on now, large crude oil futures declined on Wednesday, marking a notable shift beneath a pivotal technical threshold that previously supported prices since early February. This downturn aligns with multiple geopolitical and economic factors that have contributed to the bearish sentiment in the oil markets. At the London market, European Brent sells for $84 per barrel. For the oil basket, price steadies at $88 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
On the foreign scene, at least 10 people have died in floods caused by heavy rains in Brazil's south. Authorities said on Wednesday as rescuers searched for nearly 24 individuals reported missing. The floods in the state of Rio Grande do Sul have displaced more than 1,400 people in more than 100 municipalities, most of whom have been moved to shelters. Persistent rains have destroyed bridges and blocked roads, leaving several communities completely cut off. Authorities have urged people to avoid at least 20 areas along state highways due to a risk of mudslides. Bad weather has hampered the rescue efforts, often in hard-to-reach places, with the death toll rising from an initial five reported today. The regional governor has requested the federal government to send aircraft to aid the rescue effort and said rapid response teams were being deployed to the most urgent situations. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashemi for the latest in sports.
The Bayelsa State Commissioner for Sports Development, Daniel Igali, has congratulated Finidi George on his recent appointment as the head coach of the Super Eagles. Igali said Finidi's experience as an ex-international and seasoned coach will rub off positively on the team. The former Olympic gold medalist further stated that his proven track record in football and dedication to the sport made him the perfect candidate to lead the team to greater heights. The statement further said Bayelsans and the Jaw Nation at large are confident in Finidi George's abilities and are excited to see him take on this new role with the Super Eagles. Igali expressed confidence in Finidi's ability to make significant contributions to Nigerian football during his tenure as the head coach of the Super Eagles. Former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson's July 20th fight against YouTube sensation Jake Paul in Dallas will be sanctioned a heavyweight professional bout, fighters and promoters have announced. The fight will be over 8 2-minute rounds, with the result to count on the record of both Paul and Tyson, who lost his last official bout in 2005. Tyson holds a record of 50 fights, 6 losses with 44 knockouts, has not won a fight since beating Clifford Etienne in 2003. There had been concerns over sanctioning anything more than an exhibition due to the age difference of the fighters. Paul is 27, while Tyson will turn 58 on June 30th. The bout will be at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the NFL's Dallas Cowboys. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul signed on to fight each other with the desire to do so in a sanctioned professional fight that will have a definitive outcome, Most Valuable Promotions co-founder Nkisa Baderan said in an ex-post. Tyson won his first heavyweight title in 1986 and became undisputed champion in 1987, nearly 10 years before Paul was born. After a stunning upset loss to Buster Douglas in Tokyo in 1990, Tyson made a comeback in 1996 to win a world crown before losing the title to Evander Holyfield. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.
With that, we come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.